I think that the Congolese issue, at least the current issue that's happening in Eastern Congo, I think a lot of the issues just stripping apart, well, stripping away the international world stage, uranium control, all of that, and just focusing in on Congo. And at least from my perspective on what I think is going on with the disconnect between Western Congo and Eastern Congo, I think there is a bunch of cultural issues, such as even like your classical Lingala and Swahili. There's like I think the central thing that like attacks all African countries is the legacy of colonization and what its current role is still happening in Africa. And Western Congo and Eastern Congo experience colonization extremely differently. Like when people talk about Belgian Congo, I think outside of Congo itself, I think people think all of Congo was affected by Belgian Congo, which is true. All of Congo was affected by Belgian Congo rule. However, it impacted Western Congo way harder than it impacted Eastern Congo. That is also why you see most of French being spoken is on Western Congo as opposed to Eastern Congo. Eastern Congo, I just kind of feel like Eastern Congo is a bit more like African. I hate to say it that way, but that's how I see it. Although the Congolese like culture that is like exists today comes from all of Congo, or I would say predominantly, I feel like a lot of it is concentrated in Kinshasa, but a lot of it is pulled from all over Congo. Which bringing up Kinshasa as sort of like the cultural hub of this is what it means to be Congo. I feel like right now I'm seeing kind of like a huge rise in Congolese fashion, which I'm extremely proud of. I'm proud that we are like saying no, like this is Congolese attire, this is Congolese traditional, which I'm extremely like I'm very proudful and prideful of that because this is my culture, this is my people. However, right now it's like a bunch of the stuff that's being passed as Congolese traditional is from Kikongo, the Kikongo tribe. Was it Bakongo? Bakongo tribe. It's like either like Bakongo, Shibula. I don't think I'm saying that correctly. But it's like the tribes that are from Western Congo, and the tribes from Eastern Congo, like what we were traditionally, isn't really being recognized as traditionally Congo, which is crazy to me because we don't. What my tribe wears in Eastern Congo, what the Hema wear isn't necessarily what Kikongo wears, and what is being praised as traditionally Congolese attire. And to me, I view traditional Congolese attire as liputa or kikwembe. To me, kikwembe is traditional Congolese attire because like that's what I saw my mother wearing, my mother's wearing. That's what my grandmother has gifted me throughout her life until she died. So it's like I feel like Kikwembe is traditionally Congo. But if you say that in like a general Congolese space that doesn't really have a bunch of Eastern Congolese people, like I feel like you get jumped on your throat. They're like, oh, that's not traditionally Congo. This is traditionally Congo, which is just I feel like is being pulled from Western Congolese, but then also online is heavily represented by Western Congolese people. Eastern Congolese aren't really represented online, which makes sense. A bunch of them are being killed, all of that going on. Not a lot of upward mobility, which is true, but it's kind of shaky, and I kind of feel like that's what led to like the earlier problems, and I feel like I'm seeing it right now with Western Congolese people not really knowing what's going on in Eastern Congo. And I feel like, at least from my perspective, I'm not necessarily speaking for every single person, I kind of feel like Western Congolese people don't speak up for Eastern Congolese people. And I do feel like over the past, it kind of feels like Congolese people weren't necessarily moving as a unified front, which I feel like Congolese people moving as a unified front died with Mobutu. And it was Mobutu, Joseph Kabila. Yeah, I feel like it died with Mobutu, because I feel like with Joseph Kabila, at least Kabila the father, I feel like he was like, honestly, after Lumumba, they've all been puppets, but Mobutu was like a semi-autonomous puppet, whatever. And Mobutu, he ruled Congo with an iron fist. Like, I feel like a bunch of current-day Congolese identity was born under the Mobutu reign. Like, Congo will never be split. That all of that was under Mobutu. Congolese people all having a central shared identity of being Congolese, that was all created under Mobutu. And even with the resistance fighting and all that, that was all created under Mobutu. And the Kabilas, I kind of feel like put a huge dent into what it means to be Congolese and what it means to just like, I don't know, just to be Congolese in general. And I think those effects are being seen now with Western Congolese people not putting up like a huge fight for Eastern Congo. Western Congolese people are the closest to Kinshasa, the capital. You guys are the closest to my goodness, what's his name? What's that big head's name? I forgot his name. Is Chisezeski? Chijeski? The big-headed president. The egghead, you know? Like, you guys are the closest to that man. No one is putting up a fight for Eastern Congo. Like, and it's which is sad. And also, all of our biggest celebrities are in Kinshasa. And, you know, celebrities, I kind of feel like usually are just useless. But it's like, I feel like you can't use the culture, use the people and all of that if you are not putting your celebrity on the line for the people and the culture that you make money off of, that you tour off of. And credit to where it's due. I do think at least the most celebrities that I've seen have put their celebrity and all that on the line, but I don't really feel like it was that much on the line. I feel like it was just more like a safer move, kind of with like Fali. Like Fali, he did a soundtrack for the Virunga National Park documentary that came out like 2018 or something, maybe 2016, which I do think there was a bunch of theatrics in that documentary, but I do think there was a bunch of underlining issues that was, I would say, for the most part, properly shown. But I kind of just feel like it wasn't as hard. Given I'm not sure what Fali did beyond the soundtrack recording to that documentary. But I am grateful that Fali said something. But I feel like even like our biggest celebrities like Kofi Olomide has his daughter living in Paris. Kofi Olomide, like, I feel like a bunch of the well-known Congolese celebrities and politicians, if they don't build up Congolese infrastructure. They're not building up hospitals. They're not building up reputable schools, universities. When they need something done or they want to do something, they go to Belgium. It's like, you live in Western Congo. You had a more intimate dynamic with Belgian rule. Why are you going to Belgium? Like, that's so crazy to me. And even seeing like Tshisekedi, the president. I know maybe a couple weeks ago he was in Belgium. It's like, are you serious? You are the president of a country that was oppressed by another country that you're going, like, what? I feel like no Congolese person has any business in Belgium. No business. You have no business in Belgium. And I feel like on top of that, we have no business speaking French. Like, I'm so against the French language. I feel like unless like you live in a French speaking country, you have no business speaking French. Like, we have, and I feel like on top of that, which like compounding with I feel like Congolese people are so, I feel like we take so much pride in speaking our native languages. Like, we'll be like, yeah, unaongea langi ya nyumba, unaongea langi ke mamako unaongea. Like, you speak the language of your mother. Do you speak your house language? That's such a huge thing for us. I think that's such a big part of our culture, is that we love being African. We love it. Like, we love speaking our language. We love being our culture. And I feel like that has to come with eliminating the French language from the Congolese zeitgeist. Like, that has to come with not teaching French to your children. That has to come with delisting French as a national spoken language in Congo. That has to come with removing French as the business language in Congo. That has to come with removing the franc and removing the French, the Belgian banks as the Bank of Congo. That has to come with expelling foreigners from Congo. That has to come with holding your politicians accountable for being puppets. And that has to come with rebellion from politicians who kiss oppressors, Westerners' feet. That has to come with all of that. I feel like to me, I feel like all of those have to be a package deal. They all have to be a package deal. I can't see it any other way. It's like, we've been under continuous oppression since Lord knows when. It didn't end in 1960s. Like, it did not. We saw our prime minister get killed and thrown into acid, dissolved. Only thing left was his gold teeth. I think it was gold or something. Only thing that was left was teeth. Not even natural teeth. It was what was it? Like a teeth cap or something, or filling. We saw the violence. We saw the violence that Western countries will happily employ onto us if we want true freedom, and crawled back into the cave. To me, I can't respect it. I know we're better than this, and I think we need to collectively hold each other accountable, because it's not right, and this is not what we should be passing on to our children and their children.